What's going on, everybody? I'm Mick with the Fantasy Football Addicts, and today I'm here to talk about Austin Ekeler in my player profile. I think that he's going to be a very sneaky guy. I think he could easily finish top five. There's not very many guys who are like Austin Ekeler because he makes most of his points through the air and not on the ground like most running backs. So if you're kind of old school, if you're playing in a standard league, maybe he's not for you. Maybe if you like running backs who get 250, 300 freaking rushing yards or rushing attempts a season, then I would avoid him. But I don't think that's going to be necessary because he is going to be an absolute monster in the air with Tyrod Taylor there. So, before Melvin Gordon came back, Austin Ekeler was RB2 throughout the first 4 weeks of the season. Once Melvin Gordon came back, he was still effective. As you see right here, Melvin Gordon came back in week 5, and he still put up. In the week he came back, Melvin Gordon came back, he still put up 22 points. He did take a dip against Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh had a pretty solid defense last year, but he had 27 against Tennessee. They had a good defense, 10, 13, 12, 22 against KC, 16, 36 against Jacksonville, and Melvin Gordon still played that game as well, 13, 12, 17. Like, he is not somebody who you need to worry about running with the committee, especially with Justin Jackson and Joshua Kelly in that backfield. He can play in a slot, and he did that whenever Melvin Gordon was playing in the backfield last year. And one of the biggest arguments against Austin Ekeler that Dawson and Wyatt both make is he's not going to have check down god Philip Rivers. Last year, Philip Rivers checked down on 9.7% of his passes last year. That's very high. He finished first in the league in check down. But Tyrod Taylor he's not too far off. The last full season Tyrod Taylor played, he checked down 8.7% of his passing attempts. That's only 1% lower, and Austin Ekeler is going to be the lead back as well. Last year, he only had 137 carries, which is not that very many. It's not that many. It's really not. But this year, Melvin Gordon will not be there. Austin Ekeler could easily get 200 or 170 carries, easy. Maybe more, depending on how well they want to, or how much they want to use Justin Jackson or Joshua Kelly. Not really sure about that, but it doesn't really matter because even on 130 something carries, he finished RV4 in PPR leagues and RV7 in standard leagues, as you can see right here. So I don't think that's really a factor. Even if he gets the same amount of carries, that's good. They made an improvement on that offensive line, picking up Brian Bulaga from the Packers. Another thing, so if Austin Ekeler was to play as the starting back last year for the Chargers, he was on pace to stay at 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing. That's 200 points right there. That's absolutely insane. Ignore the touchdowns for a second. Ignore the receptions for a second. 2,000 yards. That's something I want every share I can get in. Austin Ekeler is going in the second or third round in most leagues, and if he's there, I don't see very many people I would have ahead of him. If he's going to be the lead back the entire year, they just paid him. So they obviously want to use him because you don't pay somebody you don't want to use. He's probably going to get, I would say, around 850 and 850 yards on the ground and in the air. That's 160 points just with the yards alone, plus the touchdowns and the receptions. And the receptions is really where he's going to make his money. Tyrod Taylor is still a check down god. He's not too far behind from Philip Rivers. In the last season that Tyrod Taylor played as the starter, he actually checked down more than Philip Rivers, and that was in 2018. So I don't think that people should be worried about him not having the Philip Rivers check down God thing. I think that Tyrod Taylor is going to do the same thing that Rivers did. Even when Justin Herbert gets put into the game, I think that he is going to be a check down god as well. He's a rookie quarterback, doesn't really know his receivers. He's not going to want to throw the ball downfield very often. And if he does, he's going to get cut because he's going to be throwing interceptions all day long because he has not played in an NFL against an NFL defense before. So he will be checking down to Austin Ekeler. Austin Ekeler is good enough to be taking slants to the house. So it's not like he has to throw it very far. The yards will be there. The running yards will be there. The passing yards will be there. The receptions will be there. And then he will get some touchdowns as well. So I think that everybody needs to get a share of Austin Ekeler. Second, third round, I don't see why you wouldn't take him. I don't see very many guys that I would take ahead of him. I see him projected. He's possible top 5 finish this season if he stays healthy. And as far as I know, I don't see any reason why he won't stay healthy. He doesn't have much of an injury history. So I think he's the way to go. I don't understand why people hate on Austin Ekeler. I think he's an absolute goon. And I want him on every roster I have. I already have him in both dynasty leagues that I've already drafted this offseason. So draft Austin Ekeler. If you like these player profiles more, please drop a like. Leave some comments on who you want to see next. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And have a good one.
Deuces.